Dropsy is a point-and-click adventure about a clown who just wants to make people happy. Clowns have been around for hundreds of years, and they've been used to both entertain but also offer an uneasy reflection at just how silly we can be.
Clowns also wear masks for a reason. It hides the true self of the performer and also promotes that uncanny valley that something's just not quite right. And that's why in movies and video games, they're often pretty terrifying.
For my first murders, I chose the perfect targets.
And much like the idea of the clown itself, Dropsy's exterior is scary, but it's not what he really is. It's not what lies beneath the makeup. The game begins in a dream sequence, where we learn of an apparent accident which burns down Dropsy's circus tent.
I'm already upset.
Dropsy wakes from a twisted nightmare thinking of those he's lost and sets about his day. He's quickly joined by his companion, a bloody-faced puppy. Aww.
Oh look, a bloody puppy!
And it's here where you realise that your objectives in this game are quite different from your standard point-and-click adventure, for the most part. Dropsy just wants to make sad people happy.
Yeah, and give them a really creepy kiss sometimes too.
That is pretty creepy. In fact, it's the creepiest thing I've seen in a game all year. But you know what they say, Hex? Creepiness is in the eye of the beholder. Hex, I love that Dropsy's main ability is to hug.
Yeah, and it's quite exciting when someone actually lets you hug them. And by exciting, I mean horrifying. Oh, that victory screen barge with the squiggly arms. I do like that your objectives aren't laid out for you though. It's up to the player to discover the point of this game and to delve into the motivations and tortured mind of Dropsy.
The gameplay itself is quite simple, but it's far from easy. The language of this game is in pictures, and you'll have to work out what people, and strangely animals, want based on imagery and their current predicament.
Hungry chicken.
This involves Dropsy collecting whatever he can around the world in a kind of scavenger hunt, and then using these items to make people happy or complete some sort of objective. You're helped by the animals you gather along the way, a bird and a mouse, along with Pup. And when you have all the animals together and you're walking through the town, it turns into kind of a wacky, fantastic journey.
Yeah, the scavenging and the puzzle solving can be a little illogical. There are a few red herrings, and sometimes you get the sense that only the game's creator understands the reasoning behind some of it. It's still strangely rewarding when you do solve something though.
Yeah, so squiggly arms. I think helping the player in these kinds of games is always a tricky line to walk.
Yeah, and with this art style, it's so easy to miss something, and that can lead to frustration. Things do get better a couple of hours in when you unlock the clown car. It lets you fast travel, which greatly speeds up backtracking. Barjo, I think some sort of highlight or hint system might have helped this flow a little bit better.
I'm in two minds about it. I quite liked that I had to go online and scour forums and videos just to find out some information to get through this. To go back to the old LucasArts days, where you actually have to talk to people who are playing the game at the same time to try and finish it. It's part of the experience.
Yeah, I just have a short fuse for getting stuck, and it just happened a little bit too often for my liking. I'm glad I don't have to worry about combining inventory items, which is common for these kinds of games and would have just overcomplicated Dropsy.
I really liked how one of your biggest problems is that no one actually wants to be near or communicate with Dropsy.
Well, perhaps that's because he spends too much time reaching into his pants to pull out various items, Barjo.
Perhaps, Hex. It's an interesting game mechanic, this social barrier that you need to knock down before you can complete objectives. And sometimes all it takes is a hug or a fist bump.
Yeah, I like that too, and you can't help but feel sympathy for Dropsy. He's obviously misunderstood and struggles with day-to-day life, but deep down he just wants to make people happy and be accepted. And I think that's something that's relatable for many of us.
Indeed, Hex. I think at times we've all felt a bit like Dropsy. There's also a day-night cycle, which adds a new twist to the puzzles as people move about and shops close at night.
The art style is such a lovely throwback to the LucasArts days too.
Yeah, absolutely. Although maybe it's a little bit too retro for full screen on a big monitor.
Yeah, windowed is much clearer. I do like this world and the way it's set up. Each location Dropsy visits is full of quirky characters and ideas. There are funny and sweet little stories just peppered throughout this game.
Yeah, it certainly is creative. Now, Hex, I know you're not a huge fan of clowns, but did you enjoy your time with Dropsy anyway?
I mean, once I got past the creepy factor, I mostly did. I think many gamers might dip into this out of curiosity and the fact that you're playing a clown and it's got this twisted vibe to it. But I also think they'll give up after an hour or so because of the difficulty and the retro design.
Yeah, for some reason, Hex, this really pulled me in, and I think a lot of it has to do with that music. I could happily leave this game just playing in the background, those soothing jazz tunes. Which can also turn into a mechanical trance nightmare.
Oh, I do not like those dream sequences one bit. No, thank you. I found this game bizarre, funny, unpleasant, and uncomfortable all at the same time. But there is a lot more to Dropsy than the creep factor. In fact, I would call this an uplifting journey if you're willing to put in the effort. I'm giving it 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I think it is uplifting, and the ending is awesome and sweet and everything I wanted it to be. There's quite a lot underneath the surface of this tragic clown's adventure. I'm giving it 4 stars.